Hey everybody, what if I told you there's a travel blog that's brutally honest about the places you're thinking of going next? No sugarcoating. Just real travel experience from someone who's been there? Well, let's find out right after this. Welcome back to Traveling with Justin. I am Justin, and yes, I don't know if I would actually say that my website is like totally brutally honest, but I've talked about a lot of the places I've been. Okay, and so I try to be as brutally honest as I can about the hotels I stay in, about the trips, and about the ships I go on, the cruises, and the different things. I think my website is evolving, but let's go ahead and let's take a look at what my website has to offer, and let's take a look at travelingwithjustin.com. All right, so this is my website. So you go out, you hit in travelingwithjustin.com. Sometimes this will pop up. It's a pop-up screen. I have it popping up. There's a little short video from Vimeo that I put up there talking about Traveling with Justin. I might change that up. I don't know. I'm just going to exit out of it. And then this pops up once in a while as well. You can hit, you can go type in your email address and things like that. And you can subscribe to the channel so you'll get updates whenever I post on the website. All right, so here is Traveling with Justin. This is the front page right here. Those will go through some of the sliders of some of the stuff I've talked about. I'll talk about the posts and stuff like that here in a minute. So my travel adventures, new updates and menu changes. If you want to, you can go ahead and read more. All it's going to do is just talk about right here and some of the changes that I've made over the course of a couple years. I might have to redo that. My travel adventures, of course, that is a Stargate. Because, you know, Stargates, you go through it and you have a travel adventure. All right. And then my YouTube. So this will take you over to my YouTube channel, Traveling with Justin, on YouTube, and you can go ahead and watch my videos there. And just a disclaimer, I've been to more states than I've talked about here. This is just the states I've been to since 2019. And then right here, just Instagram, you can click on that. You can go over to Instagram. I am not sure why this is not updating, but I've had more posts on it than 2024. And then just my views. Here's links to my other websites, some information and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and let's go up to across the top right here. So if we click on About, all it's going to do is just come out here and talk about what this website's about. I might have to update this to make it more modern. But that is what the About section is all about. Okay, so my travel adventures. You can click on that, and it will. This is the one post I was talking about that was pinned to the front of the website. You can go ahead and click on that, and you can read that. Here are my blog posts that I talk about on a weekly basis. Okay, so where have I been? Now, if you want to go to a particular year, let's take 2019. I went to Philly. I went to St. George, Missouri. The friends and I went to Mesquite, or I went on a spring break cruise. Okay, so if we go to Philly trip, what it will do is it will pull up my Philly trip, starting with the very first one, and then you can come down here, scroll clear to the bottom, and it will talk about it. So if we go over here to where have I been, and let's go to 2022, and let's go to 2023, and we go to Panama Canal Cruise. Okay, so that will take you to the Panama Canal Cruise category, and it will go through and it will highlight everything that I've talked about. And unfortunately, it doesn't say newer posts, but it says older posts, so you're going to have to click on the older posts. And it will continue on until the very end of the trip. So that is where have I been. I hopefully I've gotten better in writing than I have back, up here. So cruise stuff. If you hover over the cruise stuff and you click on cruise lines, this will talk to you about like Royal Caribbean, Carnival, and Princess. These are the 3 cruise lines that I've been on. And I will talk about that. So if I go on Norwegian, I'll throw Norwegian up here. If I go on Virgin, I'll throw Virgin on here. If I go on Viking, on and on and on. So if we go back up to cruise stuff and go to cruise ships, hover over that, and let's just go to Princess. All right, so Ruby Princess, I've been on the Ruby twice. Here's the Regal, here's the Crown, and here's the Enchanted Princess. Oh, and then there's the Regal Princess again. But yeah, and then if we go back up here and we go to cruise ships and we go on Royal, I've been on Quantum, Mariner, and Brilliance. And we'll just might as well go to Carnival. And I've been on Splendor and the Carnival Inspiration I've been on twice. And so, yeah, that's no longer in service. It's been scrapped. Okay, so if we come over here to flying stuff and we click on airlines, make sure you hover over the flying stuff. So this will tell you the airlines that I've flown on since 2019. So I've flown Delta the most. I've flown Hawaiian Airlines a couple times to Hawaii. I used to fly JetBlue. We flew JetBlue to Seattle one time to go on an Alaskan cruise. We've flown JetBlue to Fort Lauderdale. And I flew JetBlue to New England cruise. So Southwest, I've flown on that. United, Alaska Air. So that is a good representation of the airlines I fly on. So if I fly on Qantas or Emirates or Air France, it will show up here. And airports. Okay, so airports is part of flying stuff. And so I've been to Long Beach, Missouri, and Kansas City, St. Louis, Salt Lake City. That's where I am from. These are all the airports that I have been to or flown through. Okay. So if you come up here to airport codes and you click on that, it's going to take you out here to the airport codes of all the airports I've been to. Oh, see, this comes up every once in a while. I wish I could time it, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. I think it's something with the software that I don't have access to. So yeah, once you get here to the airport codes, you'll see that these are all the airports I've either flown into, flown out of, stayed in, let's see here. Where's one that I've just transitioned through? Oh, Atlanta. Yes, I just transitioned through Atlanta. I did a little brief thing on that. You can click right here, and it will pop you over to the Atlanta airport post I did. And then, of course, you can go down and find the YouTube video. And then the hotels, Airbnb, these are all the Airbnbs or hotels I've stayed at. And I give a talk about it. So let's take a look at this one right here, the Embassy Suites in Seattle. Okay, I talk about it. I show you where the location at, the website, the room comfort. I break it down into like the facilities and stuff like that. Had a really super good breakfast. Now, I usually have a different format, so let's take a look at a different format here. Condo in Maui, yeah. So I usually have a star rating up here, and then I go through and talk about everything like that. I must have forgot to do that on that other one, so I do apologize. But yeah, I talk about all the Airbnbs, the hotels, and stuff like that. And then the international stuff. So if you click on countries, and it'll go, I've been to Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico, and Canada. I haven't traveled the world yet, but I'm working on it. And you can go ahead and you can click on any of these and you can see what I say. That just explains what the country's all about. Now, back up on the international stuff, I'll have a country list. Now, if we come down here, let's just go click on Canada. All right, so it talks about Vancouver, Victoria, the province of British Columbia, Halifax. I didn't actually get to go there. I'll explain that to you here in the post. St. John's, it talks about the different provinces and the different towns I've been to in Canada. And it also talked about the Arrive Canadian app, which was kind of pointless, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so that is the international stuff. So now the tour of Utah, you can click on that. And I'll take you over and I'll explain to you what the Tour of Utah series is all about. So I live in Utah, and the Olympics are coming back to Utah, the Winter Olympics they're coming in 2034. And so I talk about Provo, the airport, flights out of Provo, the Provo City Temple, because the temples are a big thing here in Utah. They're part of the Mormon Church, or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I talk about some of these other cities like Orem or Payson or Heber City, Manti, just stuff that if you want to come to Utah, you can go ahead and see what Utah has to offer. All right, so you can go to the USA temples, and you can see all the temples I've been to, like let's say Hawaii. And the Lanai Hawaii Temple, that is really super cool. It's up on the north side of Hawaii, right next to BYU Hawaii. So, and then the transportation, I have airplanes where if you click on Boeing, it will tell you all the planes that I've taken. Like let's say here, the Boeing 737, that's the Pacific Coastal Cruise. I'll talk about what it is, what it looks like, and my thoughts on it. Sometimes I'll go more in depth on the airplanes and things like that. And if you go to shuttles, these are the car shuttles I have. Like, we'll do Uber. And we're going to talk about transportation to Pier 35 to San Francisco. And, most of the time I forget, but I try to get pictures of what took us to the airport, or to the cruise port, or to the hotel. And then there's a little video right there. Back to transportation and trains. I've only had one, the Amtrak. That went from Vancouver, Canada, down to Seattle. And you can read about that there. So the United States stuff. States, you can click on that, and these will list all the states I've been to since 2019. I'm going to have to update that. Hover back over that, go to state list, and we're going to go to Missouri. And it'll tell you about the state of Missouri, and then the cities, and just my opinion and stuff like that. So like if we come to Independence, Missouri, I'll tell you about the location, the history, what I did. The community of Christ, they got a big following there. And then I talk about the LDS people, and then kind of where we ate, just to give you an overview of the city itself. And then, of course, YouTube stuff. So this right here, we'll come back to that. So YouTube playlist, click on that. It'll take you out to like airports, hotels, luggage. All my playlists I have out on YouTube. And so like if you want to say, I want to go take a look at the luggage, you pop down here, and there it is right there. And it'll talk you about the luggage, the stuff we took to Maui. And it just will pop down here, and then you can go and watch it. You can click on it, and you can watch it on YouTube if you want, or just stay here. So back up at the top, YouTube stuff. Go to YouTube channel, it'll open up a new tab, and it'll take you right out here to Traveling with Justin. Yep, that's me sitting there on the beach in St. Martin. No, that's not St. Martin, that's St. John. So, yes, that is just a little bit of things about the website for Traveling with Justin. You can come out here. You can even follow me on Instagram, Twitter, or X, Facebook, Vimeo I don't do anything much on anymore. YouTube and TikTok, I'm trying to get my TikTok up and running, but I just forget about it sometimes. I got a lot going on in my life. And you can, if you don't subscribe, when it pops up, you can also come down here and hit subscribe, and it pops up, All right. So that is a little bit about the website. So let's go back to the other Justin. All right. So, yeah, I don't know if you're out there saying, oh, this is not truly brutally honest, and I'm not sugarcoating it. Yeah, I might sugarcoat a couple things here and there, but I don't want to get banned from cruising like some people have done in the past when they've been really super negative towards the cruise line. But yes, there's been a couple cruises where I haven't been too happy with. But that is just the nature of things. I try to be honest with everything that I write and I talk about here on YouTube. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to get, my Traveling with Justin website more traffic. I do have come a long way since I started writing on that channel. Well, I have come a long way in my writing style and in the way I present things. Hopefully, you will agree to that as well. And so yeah, that is Traveling with Justin in a nutshell. I really do appreciate you guys coming out here and watching this video. And if you want to, head on over to travelingwithjustin.com and hit subscribe. Either when that thing pops up or down in the bottom right-hand corner on any page. I would really appreciate that. And also, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Traveling with Justin while you're down there and hit that bell notification of any time I post something here on YouTube. And I appreciate you guys. All right, I'll see you in the next video. And remember, get out there and enjoy the world. It's a big place. Bye.